competitions, and in their last two FA Cup meetings it's been Sheffield Wednesday who've come out on top. Well, tonight a capacity crowd of 23,000 paying record gate receipts here at the baseball ground. Wait to see if Derby can make it third time lucky. But more important perhaps, football hopes that all the fans, 15,000 seated, 8,000 standing, 2,500 from Sheffield, will be on their best behaviour. Now the team news. Well, Derby welcome back Mark Pembridge and Martin Cool after suspension. They're still without Darren Wassell and Ted McMinn, who are injured. Number 5, Craig Short, is their lucky mascot in the Cup. He's scored in every round. And as a team, Derby have scored a total of 90 goals in 48 League and Cup games this season. Sheffield Wednesday, meantime, have scored 80 in 44 games. They have Viv Anderson at centre-half and captain, with Pearson and Shirtliff both injured. Danny Wilson is back in midfield. Warhurst and Bright continue up front. With David Hurst's injury having cleared up, he could be in contention for Sunday's Coca-Cola Cup semi-final against Blackburn Rovers. And the referee tonight is Gerald Ashby of Worcester. And one man savouring the atmosphere tonight, Trevor Brooking.
Well, it's a tight little ground, and although you said 23,000, it sounds like double that. Two good footballing sides, full of goals. We should be in for good end-to-end stuff, I would imagine.
Sheffield Wednesday playing from left to right in the yellow and black stripes. Here's Chris Waddle. And that's Warhurst. Number 3 there was Forsyth for Derby. So far, the home sides have not managed to win an FA Cup quarter-final. Waddle trying to extend that record against Derby. He forces the corner early on, and already Palmer and Anderson make their way forward. Played short. Waddle again. This is Roland Nielsen. And Williams saves this one. Williams, the Derby number 7. Viv Anderson, so dangerous at set plays, 36 years old now, is still in there. And Palmer now goes back to join him. And again they try the short one. And again it's Waddle, and again it's no good. Might have slung it longer the second time, I would have thought. Belted forward there by Gabbiadini. This is Worthington for Sheffield Wednesday. Nielsen. Number 7, Danny Wilson. In the way there's Shane Nicholson, and now Gabbiadini for Derby. And again, Williams. And he played that one well away from Sheridan. Kitson sees Patterson overlapping. And a boisterous backing here for Division 1 Derby County, trying to break the Premier League monopoly in the FA Cup. Worthington. And the England goalkeeper Chris Woods is going to be in for quite a hectic night, I would imagine.
It's amazing when you hear such a deafening support in those early few minutes. If you look at the home record, which has cost them this season, I mean, away they've been superb, and yet at home they've struggled and looked hesitant. And yet with the support like this, you just think it'll almost be worth a goal normally.
This is Mark Bright. Nielsen. And it's Martin Cool who's playing with the heavy knee bandage, the Derby captain. Long kick by Martin Taylor, headed on there by Gabbiadini for Kitson, and Gabbiadini's got it back, taking on Nigel Worthington. And he got it into Kitson, and away by Nielsen, and back in by Gabbiadini.
Terrific work by Gabbiadini. Pushed the ball past Palmer and then tackled Worthington and got the cross in, and in the end it was a good clearance at the far post by right back Nielsen.
That's Mark Bright, and a free kick given, foul by Forsyth. Forsyth's playing in centre defence because of the injury to Wassell and the suspension of Simon Coleman, so Bright is the player who he's marking at the moment. while Warhurst gets picked up by Short. And there's Bright with the flick on, and it was John Harkes, the American, who came in for the volley. Have you seen much of him, Trevor?
Well, he's a very versatile player. I mean, strangely enough here, he's playing on the left side of midfield, although that enabled him to hit that shot with the right foot, but he can play full-back at any of the midfield positions, and of course is one to watch for the World Cup in '94.
It's Gabbiadini challenging Anderson here. This is Tommy Johnson. He's away by Sheridan. Now, back again by Nicholson. And they didn't like the push by Paul Williams. He sent a Sheffield player, Nilsson it was, right into the boards there, and the Sheffield players, in my view, overreacting. That won't help to calm it down. Only the referee can do that. It's certainly a little shove, but I don't think Williams intended that Nilsson should turn into a gymnast. It's the Rams against the Owls in the 6th round of the FA Cup, and that's a foul by Kitson on Harkes. Up goes Bright. This is Warhurst. It's going to come to Chris Waddle. Warhurst again. Oh, and a penalty! Was fouled, and two Derby defenders went towards him. Bright went down, and the referee, Gerald Ashby, pointed straight to the spot. Short is one defender, and Patterson was the other one, number 2, Trevor.
Yes, Paul Warhurst dummied to leave it. Went through then to Mark Bright.
It's going to be Sheridan with the kick. Scores right up in the corner, although, to be fair to Martin Taylor, he went the right way. And Sheffield Wednesday have the lead here in the 6th round. Number 11, John Sheridan, plunks it away from a very good dive.
Well, he just got a fingertip, didn't he? If he was frustrated for the goalkeeper, because it was a nice height, and just having got close to it, but sufficient power to end up in the back of the net. Going back to the penalty decision, though, that...
It's Gabbiadini, but the flag's up. Yes, by all means, go back to it.
Yeah, the penalty decision, I mean, Warhurst let it run. It went through to Bright, and I thought Patterson then tried to make contact and actually was withdrawing his leg when Mark Bright then went over. And, you know, be interesting, as you can see it going through here. The leg then just goes out. He pulls away, and then Mark Bright goes down, looking as if actually he did capitalise on the situation.
There were words exchanged between the two players when the decision was given. There's no question about that. Here's Waddle. And again. Bright. Well, I think there's some time wasting here that needs to be punished. We've seen it from both teams. Derby delayed a corner forever. Sheffield Wednesday won't take the throw-ins, and the referee's got fed up with it. And I honestly think there's a reason why he should. Why we can't get the ball back in play quicker, I don't understand. I think it's Waddle who's being booked, Trevor.
That's right. Well, he changed his mind a couple of times, Chris Waddle. He was sort of standing. There's just a little step up onto the pitch, which goes from the little perimeter next to the terracing, and he was sort of worried about taking a couple of steps and tripping up, and that's the reason I think he's given to the referee, but it's not been listened to, and he's got booked.
the free kick's gone Derby's way. Viv Anderson tried to delay it being taken. It was given for a foul by Anderson on Gabbiadini. And as the Derby players tried to get the ball away quickly, Anderson stood there, and he's going to be booked for it.
Yeah, he put his foot up to stop the quick free kick. I must say, I thought the referee might have played advantage, because you can see Johnson here's got 1 against 1, but he picked the ball up, thrown it, then to try and get it back, and Viv Anderson's put his foot in, and the referee's booked him.
So it's a free kick to Derby, and they'll be wanting to make something of this, because up to now Woods has been virtually untroubled. This is cool, and now it's Nicholson who's got a good left foot. Oh, it's in! Nicholson has hit the bar, and it went in off Chris Woods. Shane Nicholson has sent the baseball ground into ecstasy here, and the England goalkeeper, I suppose technically, put it in the net himself. Nicholson, once of Lincoln, has a very good left foot, and he used it here to drive that shot against the bar. Now look what happens. I suppose we have to call that an own goal.
Terrific strike, wasn't it, though? Was dipping just under the crossbar, then caught the back of Chris Woods' heel. Very unlucky, although Paul Kitson was following up, and I think would have side-footed home anyway.
The first moment that Woods has really been tested, and a thundering shot comes back off the bar, goes in off the back of his leg, and it's 1-1. Free kick, Williams penalised. It all came that because of the Viv Anderson nonsense from the free kick, didn't it?
It did. I was wondering about the advantage, but I don't think Derby would agree with that at the moment, because certainly they took advantage of it. Moving on, and he's got to be at least 30 yards out. You could just see it just dips at the last minute, hits the back of his left heel. And although Kitson, as I say there, the number 9 was following in, he didn't have to put it in.
And that's Warhurst. Waddle. Well, that has brought the very best potentially out of this cup tie. 1-1. Derby back in the game after a slow start, and Sheffield Wednesday's early work is wiped out by a shot that was explosive, but a rebound that was most bizarre.
Crucial goal for Derby County, because Sheffield Wednesday were looking very controlled and composed, and it was difficult to see Derby sort of being able to get back into the game, and then suddenly a bolt from the blue like that.
Well, Nicholson played lots of games for Lincoln, but took nearly a year to get into the side here at Derby. He's made an impact now, playing virtually at left back. Here he is again. Bright, Warhurst, 2 to his left, one of them is Sheridan here, and Sheridan tries from the edge of the area, and a little bit of reaction between two players after the shot as well. Sheridan is angry with a late challenge by a Derby player and has to be restrained, but it was a good move. Warhurst to Sheridan. I think it was the tackle he didn't like. Oh, Pembridge, I think, may have made contact with him. Good kick by Martin Taylor, and beautifully brought down by Marco Gabbiadini. Possibly Kitson, Gabbiadini, and the goalkeeper forced a kick. And the Derby crowd, who in the better days here were always worth a goal to the team, are proving that point again. This is Tommy Johnson. Warhurst, Waddle. Oh, it's a lovely turn by Bright. He threw Forsyth completely, And he's got Warhurst in the centre and Harks coming up as well. And Warhurst doesn't quite make contact. If it had run on to Harks, there would have been an open goal. And Derby had a real escape there. Good piece of play by Mark Bright. Johnson. Oh, and now Palmer gets mixed up with Anderson. And here's Johnson away from Worthington, not quite. And Woods has to go and look for it himself.
Well, looked as if Worthington had been caught in two minds, decided to let it run. He did very well to get back and block Johnson's shot.
Late challenge. Craig Short on Mark Bright. Well, Bright has caused Derby a lot of concern in this first half. Worthington in the attack now. And Short away from Bright. And a corner to Wednesday. Sheridan to take it. Bright is up with the keeper. Worthington trying to head it back in, away by Gabbiadini. Back out to Sheridan. Still they stay forward, Anderson and Palmer. That's Worthington's cross. And Patterson half clears it, only as far as Danny Wilson. And he tries to put Worthington in again. Good play by Gabbiadini. Pity he couldn't have passed the ball a bit better. Orders going out from Arthur Cox and Roy McFarlane for Derby to play it longer and get themselves back up the other end. But Wednesday are trying to compress it in there. This is Paul Williams. Now it's longer, that's what they wanted over there. Johnson. Good challenge, Roland Nielsen. Waddle. And they've made the run. Ooh, when he was onside too, Warhurst. Harks. Gabbiadini blocks from Palmer. Waddle, Warhurst going through the middle, and this is Warhurst for Wednesday, and it's 2-1, and the goal taken by Warhurst, this converted centre-back who's been one of the sensations of the season, but made by Chris Waddle. It was so quick, if you blinked you'd have missed the pass, and frankly the Derby defence did. Warhurst scores yet again, but the ball played by Chris Waddle is so instant, he's split them in half. He's onside, Martin Taylor stands up, but Warhurst tucks it past him for his 15th goal of the season.
It was so simple, wasn't it? Beautifully weighted pass by Chris Waddle, and Warhurst, his pace took him away from the defence and slotted it home.
37 minutes gone in the FA Cup 6th round. Derby County 1, Sheffield Wednesday 2, and the Warhurst story goes on. This is Gabbiadini though for Derby. Williams follows in. What a scramble there. Nicholson. Well, if Warhurst continues to score, and there's no sign of him stopping, how does David Hurst get back in the side, I wonder? Here's Sheridan. They were caught somewhat naively square there, though, Derby, weren't they? What a scoop by Paul Williams, that. Waddle looking for Warhurst. Here comes Bright. And there's Kitson. And Woods to meet Gabbiadini. Has to hurry back now, though, as Derby take the throw. This is Nicholson. Pembridge. Good play by John Sheridan again. Look at the space Sheffield have got here. It's 4 against 2 at the moment. Here's Waddle. If he plays the right ball here, they're in terrible trouble. And he allowed Patterson to get a foot on it. Otherwise, on the far side, I think it was Mark Bright, would have been absolutely clear. That was very near to an opportunity right on half-time for 3-1. Here is Bright. There goes Harks. And Derby County will be probably quite relieved to hear the half-time whistle. This FA Cup tie, Sheridan gave Sheffield Wednesday the lead from a penalty. It's going the way of the Premier League. Nicholson's shot thundering back off the bar, off Woods and in for the equaliser. And then the Premier League side regaining the ascendancy with a goal by Paul Warhurst. Well, I understand there's one gentleman in Inverness who's got something like £54,000 riding on this result. Had a 10-match accumulator and forecast 9 correct up to now, and he wants Sheffield Wednesday to win. He could be in for a fairly tense time if Derby do the business in the second half. There goes Warhurst with Short, and that wasn't very convincing by the Derby centre-half. He's all over Warhurst at the moment. Play on with the advantage, Harks. Square of him is Danny Wilson for the shot. Just ran into 2 Derby players. Harks again, offside, Bright. Long time since either of these 2 clubs won the FA Cup. Derby, their only success the first year after the war, 1946. Sheffield Wednesday, you need to go back to 1935. Foul. Gabbiadini was jostled by Anderson. Now what Derby desperately need is a good start to this second half, because they didn't have it in the first half. Pembridge placing the ball. Wonder if Nicholson might be tempted to use his left foot again, but it looks like Pembridge, who's also left-footed. Johnson makes a run. Pembridge crosses towards Short, and there's some shoving again between Short and Bright.
Craig Short a bit frustrated. Mark Bright did very well, actually. Just got his body between him, trying to make his run. As you can see, he's just blocking off, and he tries to tug him out of the way. Because Craig Short been so dangerous in cup ties up to now, but at the moment not had a sight on goal.
A bit of a sandwich there. This is Bright. Over on the far side, it's Waddle. Chris Waddle, who hasn't had a Cup Winners' Medal since he was at school, he says. Not a winner's medal, that is. He was in the Tottenham team, beaten by Coventry in '87. That's Wilson. Bright. Cool. Palmer, who came across. This is cool again for Derby. Didn't seem to get that one through. He might now. It's Gabbiadini. Pembridge. Williams. Well, it's a good effort and a good save, but there was a man to Williams' left who wondered why he didn't get the ball. Easy from here, because Williams knew the shot was on. It was Tommy Johnson, actually, who was just outside him here.
His shapes to play it, and I think just try to catch Chris Woods wrong-footed. He just did lose his feet, didn't he, as he pushed off Woods.
And Warhurst again shows great speed and puts a lot of strain on Short. Kitson. Gabbiadini. Kitson goes again. Palmer. Very solid in defence so far, the Premier League side. Short goes forward, perhaps to try and unsettle them. Patterson. Owen Williams got ahead of Woods, and Palmer has to concede the corner. The England goalkeeper not comfortable there.
Well, it could have dropped anywhere. You see this long cross as it comes out. Chris Woods goes to catch it, misses it. Unfortunately for Sheffield Wednesday, it's Palmer who heads it away.
Pembridge to take the corner. Short to Gabbiadini. Nice turn. Oh, a man free at the far side. Goodness. Sheffield Wednesday, just Johnson was coming in there. Little Tommy Johnson, and might have felt really that he should have done better with the header.
He definitely should have done better. Great turn by Gabbiadini. Hangs the ball up. Look, free header, tries to keep it down, but never directed towards the goal at all.
A couple of let-offs for Wednesday in that last Derby burst. Arthur Cox, the Derby manager, had something of a topsy-turvy season here, haven't they? Lots of home defeats, lots of away wins. Place at Wembley in the Anglo-Italian Cup. Gabbiadini. That was Johnson, good tackle. That was Palmer again, was it? And then a bit of a tangle between Short and Warhurst. Carlton Palmer's having a stormer back there.
Yeah, it's been faultless, and I think, I mean, it's interesting from the international point of view. If he's going to become a regular international side, I think long-term that's his position. I'm not sure about midfield long-term, but definitely this evening he's been faultless, interceptions, and his use of the ball has been good.
He's now going to take a free kick for Wednesday, where they're shaping up with Waddle jumping now, or rather not jumping now, and it falls again to Palmer. They were playing an offside there, Derby, but they've got themselves in a bit of a tight corner. Martin Taylor relieves it for them. Johnson, Kitson, Gabbiadini coming in. Oh, and again Palmer. Parks. Oh, it's a good battle in there. This is Kitson, and it's come off Palmer for... Oh, can he pick it up? Well, apparently he can, because the referee says it wasn't an intended pass. It was a ricochet off Palmer, so the goalkeeper's handling of the ball is deemed to be legal. But that really is where there's a very thin line in the law.
Well, that's why you're getting the reaction from the home supporters. I mean, I would have to say that Carlton Palmer's reaction to the interception meant it wasn't a deliberate pass back, but some supporters don't appreciate that. They think if it's been played back by the feet, then he can't pick it up, which is wrong, of course.
I'm not sure all the referees were sure earlier in the season, but anyway, here's Kitson. And it's going to come to Williams, is it? Not quite. Opportunity still, Cool. Johnson. Then Nicholson's shot. And then Williams again. And now Cool goes in. And late call on Nielsen. But they were raining shots in there, Derby, but every single time a Sheffield Wednesday body was in the way.
Well, they are hustling Sheffield Wednesday now into mistakes as far as possession, whereas Sheffield were able to play it in a controlled, composed manner in the first half. Now they're being hurried, giving it away themselves, and Derby County, I'm sure the players feel very much in this game, and Roy McFarlane and Arthur Cox must be delighted with the improvement in the second half.
Kitson. Oh, it's Gabbiadini. He's got away from Palmer. Oh, what a good finish. It's 2-2, and Gabbiadini scores a brilliant goal. The home fans celebrate, and Derby equalise for the second time. Marco Gabbiadini, and it's the first time Carlton Palmer's been bypassed, and how he was punished.
Magnificent finish, just got the knock on, very strong, wasn't he? He held off the challenge, rocketed into the back of the net, and he's been Derby's best attacker, and I think Gabbiadini's deserved the goal. 20 minutes to go in this sixth round tie, and absolute delight for Gabbiadini and Derby. They've fought an uphill task for long periods in this game, but they've never given in, and now for the second time they've said to Sheffield Wednesday, you've got it all to do again. Well, what a knife edge it's balanced on now. Gabbiadini has turned this cup tie, certainly for the moment.
Johnson's closing in behind Gabbiadini here. Pembridge. 9, Warhurst. And now Waddle. Isn't a bad ball either, short, cutting off Warhurst. Ooh, very cool, Taylor. Full-throated roar reverberating from all 4 sides of the baseball ground now. The fans didn't need much lifting. Gabbiadini has done it. Well, I couldn't see anybody getting past Palmer until then.
No, it was actually the tactic of knocking the ball long. I mean, at times Derby haven't been particularly cultured, but he's very enthusiastic, a lot of spirit, effort. They've knocked Sheffield Wednesday out of their stride this second half, and in the end that pressure told. A little knock on, knock down, and once Gabbiadini got away just a yard, he was very strong to hold off the challenge from Palmer and hit the shot superbly.
There he is again. Oh, Williams in support too. Kitson to his right, foul, edge of the area, Hyde on Johnson. And Derby, almost for the first time in the match, you really feel Arthur Cox's team are in charge.
Looks quite relaxed about it, Arthur, anyway.
Well, the men on the ball are Pembridge and Johnson. There's plenty to aim at in there. Nicholson now trots forward as well. Pembridge, Short's in there, Brighthead's clear. Well, there's no way these two teams are going to play for a draw now. This is Worthington. Look at the players coming forward for Sheffield Wednesday. Warhurst in there, and here's Waddle. 1 against 1 with Nicholson. And Waddle comes inside, deflection on the shot, took the sting out of it. Here's Kitson. Anderson, Hyde. Waddle takes over again. Kitson intercepts the pass. Oh, Derby have got a spare man, but the pass wasn't going to find him. It's end-to-end now. Anderson. Bright, Hyde. Wilson. Waddle. Williams. And look where Waddle was chasing back. He's really got stuck into this cup tie, Chris Waddle. Forward by Cool. And Gabbiadini, Johnson, Pembridge is following up here. Oh, it's Pembridge. And he's got Nicholson outside him. Nicholson's cross. Kitson! Yes! Derby are in front. Kitson the scorer. And after twice being behind, they lead 3-2. And the lad on the left, Nicholson, whose free kick brought the first goal, supplied the cross for this one. It's Pembridge outside, but Shane Nicholson, that's a lovely measured cross with his left foot, and Kitson sends it in.
Well, that was the best move of the evening for Derby. I mean, a lot of subtlety there. First Pembridge, then Nicholson, a lovely hanging cross, and Kitson from 6 yards gave Woods no chance.
13 minutes left. 3-2 to Derby, having been 1-0 down and 2-1 down. Palmer comes forward to try and put it right for Sheffield, but they're going to have to take a risk or two now. And if they do, well, there might be some gaps at the other end. Or this end. Anderson. The heat is on now for Sheffield Wednesday. Waddle. Warhurst. Kitson for Derby. And there goes Pembridge.
You mentioned the heat being on. I'm sure the heat is on up in Inverness as well for that poor accumulator that is looking a bit in jeopardy now.
It sure is. There's Bright, here's Warhurst with Short. Oh, and Short's missed it! And Warhurst should have scored perhaps, but what a good bit of goalkeeping. I think the flag may have been up. Or was it an elbow, Trevor?
I think the referee signalling that he felt Warhurst nudged Craig Short as they were going for it. I mean, it's the pace of Warhurst which always causes problems. I'm not too sure that that was a foul, and credit to Taylor, but in fact the referee had pulled it back. But on this occasion, I must say, I thought it was Warhurst. He doesn't look pull him. I think it was just he lost his balance. Unfortunately, the goalkeeper saved him, but the referee would have done anyway.
Now, a second substitution by a somewhat desperate Sheffield Wednesday. They've got to get Jensen on, and John Harkes is being sacrificed.
Well, John Harkes has done nothing wrong. He's more of a competitive left-sided midfielder, and of course the extra striker is needed. Jensen comes on, and you know, I wouldn't rule out a goal, and I wouldn't like to say which end it will come though, because Sheffield Wednesday will push in extra men forward, and Derby will be looking for that counter-attack.
Waddle. Nielsen. Pembridge has... Derby are not defending with a great deal of conviction at the moment. They're just managing to jab the ball away, and that's about it. This is Jensen. And it's going to come back on them yet again with Anderson. Hyde. But Williams got a foot in. Now it's Palmer for Wednesday. Thundering through himself. Hyde to Jensen. Palmer's up there in the penalty area. And Warhurst caught Patterson and went out for a corner. Up comes Anderson from the back. Short to Waddle. Now if Derby played this right, the break is on. It's Kitson with two to his left, and he was looking, I think, to try and get Tommy Johnson in, but he hadn't made the ground up on the far side, and it was a shorter ball that Pembridge couldn't reach. Instead, it's Jensen. Hyde. It's a great position for Derby that went begging there. Waddle instead for Wednesday. Looks for Jensen. Oh, Warhurst! And it's 3-3! And Warhurst gets his second, and Derby hang their heads. And really, they threw that away by not making the most of an opportunity at the other end that would have possibly given them a chance for 4-2. And you can't take liberties with the Premier League teams like this. Jensen crosses, pulled back beautifully. Warhurst and a short finish.
Terrific finish, but what a pass by Chris Waddle. Jensen does very well to pull it back, but the pass that destroyed the Derby defence was the one from Chris Waddle. Superb.
3 each. And you didn't feel that Derby were comfortable with the lead. They looked edgy and nervous as Sheffield powered back at them. And now we're back level again with what, 5 minutes to go. Nicholson crosses. Kitson. Patterson, number 2. Gabbiadini's waiting here. And so is Johnson. And so is Williams. Well, there was a great cup tie here last season, I remember, at the baseball ground. I think it finished Derby 3, Aston Villa 4. This one at the moment is Derby 3, Sheffield Wednesday 3.
But at 3-2, it didn't look as if it was going to stay like that. It had to be either 3 or 4-2, and to their credit, Jensen's introduction as the substitute by Trevor Francis, positive move, and it paid off.
Yes, as you say, he collected Waddle's pass and pulled it back. Here's Pembridge. Oh, if that had been a better ball, offside anyway. Wouldn't have mattered. And now squaring up, Worthington and Gabbiadini. Worthington, who starts a suspension after this game. He'll miss the Coca-Cola semi-final, having been sent off against Liverpool.
No question of it being offside there as that ball is played. Definitely superb pass by Chris Waddle.
Oh, good play by Graham Hyde. Jensen. Now here's Waddle again. He's had an outstanding night again. And he's taken them on again, Waddle. That was a bit of a fall, I think. He didn't think so. Look at that. Well, the linesman was very close, and neither he nor the referee reacted. Am I doing Waddle an injustice here?
It gets tugged back outside the area, and then a second one, and I think it was the way Chris Waddle went down, convinced the referee that it wasn't too much, but he was getting a little tug back.
Roland Nielsen, Warhurst, he only needs a touch, and number 14 is Hyde. Oh, and Williams just got in the way, but there wasn't. Oh, what a bad clearance by the keeper, and Waddle will try and drive it back. Warhurst, Hyde. Derby are hanging on again by their fingertips. Nielsen and Waddle. And still Waddle. Driven in low and away from the keeper, and short as Bright challenged in the 6-yard box. The Derby fans whistling for time now. This is Waddle. Well, he won't let them rest.
The Derby defence do give their supporters palpitations, don't they?
Just a bit. Bright. Oh, and it's Hyde. That was out. That ball was out before Graham Hyde hooked it back. Relief for Derby. Much needed relief, it might be said, because they look there as though they could go out. We've been playing 3 minutes of stoppage time now here, as Gabbiadini goes in, and Williams tries to get down the right. Waddle's pass back. Warhurst for Sheffield Wednesday. Hyde in support. On the left on this side is Jensen, number 12. Bright goes the other way. Wilson to Worthington. The 94th minute, the ball chipped in. Oh, and Warhurst didn't look too far away from that cross from Jensen. Oh, good challenge, Paul Williams. Now Pembridge and Johnson. And Johnson, oh, if that had come back, Gabbiadini was waiting. Oh, hearts fluttering to the last here. And still the time is added on. There have been some long injury stoppages, that's why. Worthington. Bright. Free kick. No, it's not the end yet. Warhurst is waiting there with Bright as Worthington takes this kick. And it's a replay on Wednesday week at Hillsborough. 2 goals by Warhurst for Sheffield Wednesday in a match which went first one way, then the other, then back again. And generous applause. Both teams at stages in the evening had their chances to get through to the semi-final. Kitson put Derby ahead at 3-2 on 74 minutes. But Warhurst equalised with 6 minutes to go. And Sheffield Wednesday, who were twice in the lead themselves, now have home advantage in 9 days' time. If there's been a better cup tie than that this season, I don't think I was there.
Well, I thought when we went 2-1 up, I thought we were in control. Half-time, we were quite comfortable. But the way they came out in the second half, Derby, it was only a matter of time before they scored. We did our best to try and stop them from breaking through, but they just kept coming and coming. The equaliser came, and when they went in front, I knew I had to do something pretty quickly. And I think that Nigel Jensen's contribution shouldn't be overlooked, because I felt that he changed the game.
I felt that maybe we were a little bit overawed by what was going on, and they'd completely dominated the first half, didn't they? And we got ourselves shook up in the second half and got towards our task, raised the standard of everything that we done. And of course, well, you know, we're in the lead 3-2. We're what, 7 or 8 minutes to play, and then we hadn't seen it before. Too many of ours hadn't seen it, and they didn't understand that Sheffield Wednesday had to win it. We didn't have to score another goal. And unfortunately, again, like the Arsenal Cup tie in the Coca-Cola, we just didn't have the necessary know-how in terms of experience and matches, and we didn't have sufficient scars and experience of seeing those kind of circumstances when, come on boys, we've got our hands on it, this is it, we ain't going to let go of this. And obviously, unfortunately, they've got back in it, and it's 3 apiece now. We've got to do it the hard way, haven't we?
I'm sure it was a great game to watch on TV for the supporters as well in the stadium. It wasn't that good to play in, but it was, it was the right result.
You can't stop scoring goals, it seems.
No, I've not scored the last 2 games. Hopefully, this has made up for it tonight.